1, go.
Hello, my name is Rafael.
I'm Adam.
Jessica.
My name's Chris.
And Lizette.
We are here doing evaluation of, well, we're going over Big Brothers Big Sisters of Orange County's mentorship program, particularly what the kids involved in GRIPP, which is gang reduction involvement, intervention partnership with Orange County, law enforcement, and everyone. But first, to give you a little bit of background from Jessica.
The problem is the increasing rate of children involved in gangs in Orange County, and the graph shows the rate increasing drastically in 2009 and it's dropped in 2010. The graph's from the Orange County Child 17th Annual Tradition of Children. And it shows just from ages 8 to 17 the rate increased. The background, GRIPP was founded in 2008 in partnership with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, which is the mentorship program, and law enforcement in Orange County. In 2010, there was 1,624 gang members between ages 18 and 17, which is 12% of gang members in Orange County. GRIPP allows schools to take more appropriate approach to targeting children at risk. And once identified, there is an intervention meeting set up with the parents and children, the district attorney, law enforcement, CPS, the schools, and mentors to try to help these kids get out of that situation to more productive things to do with their time. And the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Orange is a mentorship program. They provide the mentorship with the kids in their community, which is near the kids' homes and schools. They're not taken too far out of their zone. They need to learn how to interact and still be in that kind of situation. Age-appropriate activities such as parks, museums, positive influential things in their lives. And there's been a notable difference in the kids' lives, such as drug and alcohol use has slightly declined since the beginning of the program, which is a positive in my mind. Any decline of that is a good thing.
So the setting is for the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Orange County, works in collaboration with select schools in Anaheim, Bonaparte, Fullerton, Garden Grove, Stanton, Santa Ana, San Juan Capistrano, and San Clemente, who refer at-risk youth to mentoring the program. According to the 7th annual report on the conditions of children, Hispanics made up the majority of gang members, which is 86% in Orange County, and that's in 2010. So here, there's a graph showing you the conditions of children in Orange County, which is a percent of gang members by race and ethnicity. The age range is 8 to 17, and this is from 2001 to 2010.
I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about the program input. So I was talking with someone from the program over the phone, and he referred to it as BSOC, so I'm just going to keep it simple and call it BSOC. Provides mentoring to the children referred through the schools in the Gang Reduction Intervention Partnership. So basically a school counselor or anyone can refer a student to the GRIPP program. Court system can refer it, a judge, or a combination of both. If a student was to be given like a ticket for tagging, and secretary in the school notices that he's also had truancy issues, they can also refer him to the program as well. Mentors must be over the age of 18. They must pass an extensive criminal background check and go through a psychosocial assessment. The criminal check is very thorough. It's real important that they do it. Unfortunately, this is a hot spot like for pedophiles, so they want to ask thorough questions and make sure who's being in the program and why they're being in the program. The volunteers are given written and oral assessments. Another kind of reason why they have to go together, the background check and the psychosocial assessment, is that oftentimes the bigs are former criminals or former at-risk youth, and they want to give back. They just want to have a sense of, I know what those kids missed out on, and I want to give that back to the community or back to those children. So there may be a record, a prior record, but after extensive, search and interviews, if the analysts or the people working at the program or the therapists feel that the volunteer can work there or feels that he's really there for the right reasons, they'll still be allowed to enter. Okay, the activities that are happening right there. Volunteers and the mentors of bigs are required to meet at least twice a month for at least 3 hours each outing with the children. They encourage weekends, not that weekdays are bad for any reason at all. It won't be given minus points or anything like that. But weekends tend to be encouraged because that's when children are kind of get into the most trouble. They say that at nighttime, if you see a child at nighttime during a weekday, it's going to kind of be a red flag to someone. They're going to be like, why is he out so late? Whereas the weekend, it could kind of be permissible, or it could kind of slide away. So they encourage the weekend outings. But again, weekdays are okay. The activities must be age appropriate and enriching for the child. Exposure to academic and learning opportunities or even sporting events. During the training for the volunteers, they're given like ideas as to what to do, some cool activities. They encourage challenging activities for the kids, thinking games, playing chess in the park, going to batting cages, things like that. They also encourage not to be expensive. They don't want money to be an issue or have all these outings be with you spend all this money. It's really about one-on-one time, and you can do just outside activities such as playing catch or things like that. This is checked through phone calls to the little's parents and the big. Usually when it's done to the little, it's not through this thorough survey kind of thing. It's a casual conversation. Hey, how's it going? Just want to see how it's going with your big. Where did you guys go? Things like that. The emphasis is on one-on-one interaction with the little. Group outings, they are acceptable, but they really encourage just one-on-one time in the beginning. Oftentimes, if you bring a little around like your friends, the little may want to bring a different personality out, or they want to be liked or disliked depending on where they are, and it can kind of throw up a different element to the circle.
Slide right back.
I went back?
No, it went back.
Thanks. Yeah, and in the phone calls, anyone in the house can actually be called. When the parents sign the form as to who will be checked and who they'd be talking to, if the parents want to put a big brother or big sister, or sometimes you have another family, an older relative living in the house, an aunt or a grandmother, if they wish to put them on that, they can be asked questions as well. Location of outings may vary, but they may include university visits, museums. Like I said, the outside outings are very encouraged, and they do not have to be expensive. Community events are also encouraged. And for the expected outcomes, there currently are 55 children being helped through BSOC's mentorship program. Hispanics make the 80%, they're 17% of the Caucasians. And 3%, they say it's kind of based on for the most part, the Pacific Islander and or Asian. The expected results are to reduce antisocial activities, including gang involvement, drug and alcohol use, aggressive behavior, measured through police and school reports and surveys. We hope to see a reduction of 50%, which is somewhat seen as a little bit. 50% of the students to improve in that, but they're expected to improve. The 50% are expected to improve in every aspect. The GRIPP program firmly believes in kind of a domino effect, whereas if one thing starts getting better, they all kind of fall down and work in together hand in hand. They want to improve academic outcomes as shown through improved attitude towards education measured by surveys, attendance logs, and grade reports. We expect to see a grade level increase in academics, 50% reduction in absences, not including excused absences. GRIPP program believes that if a student goes to school, they're going to be part of that crowd. Oftentimes when they join gangs, they want to belong to a circle. So they want them to feel like they belong to the school, they belong to the campus. They want to encourage the age-appropriate level as to who they hang out with. They want to improve relationships with family and friends as measured by surveys, improve that by 50%. Improve self-concept by 50% as measured by surveys. Those are also done through the casual conversations with the kids, so they may kind of combine both. Where was your outing with the big and how are you feeling? And overall, we expect that 65% of the littles will show overall improvement.
Okay. To measure the outcomes referred by the kid by GRIPP, they usually use a pre and post test. There's a baseline in which is done before the child goes into the program, is admitted into the program. Baseline, what they think of all the basically things like peer relationship, their self-conscious, their attitude towards school, and all the things that were measured before. And those are attained before they're even accepted in the program. And then afterwards, after a year, basically they hope to basically get all of it. They redo those things again. They administer those things and check on grade reports. They ask the children, they call the children and administer surveys. They ask the parents, the littles, the bigs, if they see an improvement from subjective matter. And at the same time, they may ask the child, oh, how are your grades? And then they may say good, and again, but that's cross-referenced with the schools and the grade reports and stuff like that. So just to make sure that there's some correlation there. Yeah, next. So what BBC and GRIPP measures, basically, there's social acceptance, so there's self-confidence, self-esteem through the self-reporting, and family peer relationship satisfaction through self-reporting, scholastic activity through self-reporting, as well as grade reports attitude to school, grade reporting, violent behavior and juvenile delinquency through either behavioral reports at school or through law enforcement, especially if they're referred by GRIPP, gang reduction recovery, because law enforcement in Orange County or whichever city they belong to, like Stanton or the sheriff department, keep an eye on these kids exactly if they get in trouble or if they slip up. And there's attendance and truancy reports, just make sure that they're reasonable and such things like that. Basically what they imply is a pre and post survey and design of reports for, that's basically what they impose, the kind of design that they impose. It's not really, I guess there's too many variables because in addition to just the mentorship program, these kids are also given other services, either through Boys and Girls Club or let's say parents are given parenting classes as well. It's not just the kid, but parents are given parenting classes. So there's too many variables to keep track of them. And to just do the single pre and post test, we can't really find out if it's either other programs are affecting the child, is it our program that's affecting the child, or if they're maturing, you know, as a kid, we target these kids young, but as they grow up, maybe their impulse control gets better, and they might be able to control themselves better. It might not result from might not be caused by the programs themselves, but might be caused by their developmental, you know, just developing or the testing rate. A lot of these kids have been in programs like 2 years, so they're aware of what's going on. They know. They know the surveys that they have to report, so they just know what to put. Most of the time they just they go through it. I've administered the surveys before, and I've seen them go by quickly, not really paying attention to the question. As much as you tell them, just say, if you have any questions, let me know. And yet they just go by it. And that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go over kind of the hypothetical findings. Because this is GRIPP, we had to kind of go with it and make up some. And so this is based off of the pre-test and the post-test, based on in the follow-up. And we just went over academics, family and peer satisfaction, self-concept, and antisocial behavior. And so from those findings, we found that academic performance as measured by their grades, it showed about a 20% improvement. And then family and peer relationship satisfaction improved by 55% as measured through the surveys that they administer. Then self-concept improved by 34% as measured by the surveys that they also do. And then antisocial behavior decreased by 45% as measured by police and school behavior reports. Because they are GRIPP, that's why they would deal with like the police and more of the school aspect, because they're kind of at risk for being in gangs. And then some of the recommendations that we kind of found, that although an experimental control group design was done, the variables are not the same between GRIPP children and the children in the study. And so it'd be nice to be able to keep the variables consistent. And that they could also use the group littles that are waitlisted could serve as a control group. And then as far as like funding and staffing, they could, when they're writing the RFP, that they'd recommend mentioning the need for funding a proper experimental evaluation design to convey more reliable results, because they don't, you know, when they're writing their grants and everything, they don't put as much money towards evaluation as they probably should. And then, you know, really work on getting the staff to buy in on the importance of gathering accurate data, and through staff orientation and training and stuff like that. And so if you have any questions, I think we're good.